told it to do. But first, I'm going to get started by saying, welcome to another episode of Tea Time with TT's podcast. I'm your host, TT Toya, and today we're going to talk about an array of subjects. But before we get started, I'd like to let you know, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and hit that notification bell so that the next time we go live or the next time we upload a video, you get to be in on it, honey. I want you guys to make sure you're commenting and interacting with me because, that's what this is all about. Share. And also, if you want any personalized conjure candles or oils, go to iamtoyatarot.com to purchase. We got a psychic medium development course that is coming up. We have a recorded tarot course that's up there available for purchase. We have our private spiritual community called Hoodoo Hotties. That's a family. We're not even going to say a community. That is a family. What up, Hotties? Other than that, we're just going to go ahead and get started. So first order of business, child. I try not to have this conversation or speak about this, but the Roe versus Wade overturn of the law. Let me just water my throat, honey. The Roe versus Wade verdict. Now, this is a touchy subject for a lot of people. And, if this is a trigger for you guys, go ahead and click off for a minute and then come back. I'm going to try to timestamp it because it is a sensitive subject for a lot of people. So I don't really want to necessarily harp on it too much. I will say this, though. This is a call for indigenous descendants, African descendants, people of color, right, to now go back to their roots. Okay, because there were herbal, remedies for this type of a situation. There are definitely, I feel that there are exceptions to this. One being rape, incest, things like that, or maybe the child would not have a good quality of life if they were brought into this earth. And I feel that the right to choose should not be ever taken away from the one who brings life forth from the spiritual realm. That's my opinion. Everybody is different. I don't care whether or not I believe in abortion or not. So I'm not even going to have that conversation because that's nobody's business. Just like it's nobody's business to tell someone if they should have one. I've been seeing a lot of commentary, a lot of arguing back and forth on the internet, TikTok, and stuff like that, Facebook, that is basically from people of non-color who are kind of outraged at the fact that women of color don't seem to be on the bandwagon for like their, protest and all of this stuff. If you look at the protests, it's I don't think I saw any women of color there. And I want to say this to those who might be watching that might not be of African descent or indigenous descent or immigrants. We're not having this fight because we feel like it's not our fight to have. We've been going through this our whole life. And that is the truth. Caucasian men have been running what we do with our bodies, what we do with our kids, what we do with our lives, our jobs, our everything, just everything for a very long time. So for us, we're like, wow, like this is nothing new. All the way down to your teeth. Did you guys know that most people that are in low income, families, because I grew up, I didn't have all of the money. I was poor, I had Medicaid, all of that stuff, right? They are told, and my daughter now is 23. I was a teen mom. But they told, let her know, and she works in the dental field, that basically when the person has that kind of health insurance, they don't even assume whether or not they're going to save your tooth, right? So a lot of people's side tooth is missing. They might not have had the best health insurance. They might have had low income health insurance. And the dentist's first thing is to snatch it out, not save the tooth. But if it was somebody with, say, health insurance that they paid money into, that they, you know, that they had a great paying job and stuff like that, honey, they're gonna get root canals and fill-ins and all of this other stuff. But people of color or people who don't have the right amount of money typically get their teeth taken from them. And this is why a lot of our parents out here looking like, you know, tic-tac-toe, you know, and it's sad. It's just to even that point. Most women of color, now I've never been one to witness this, so from what I've been told, most women of color have to even find the money to get the procedure done where they would terminate a pregnancy. They have to pay for it anyway. So it's like, y'all telling us that we're gonna have to do something that we already had to do. I don't know. I don't know if health insurance covers it normally for other people who have different health insurances, but for us and Planned Parenthood and all that, from what I'm hearing, they've had to literally come out of their pocket for that. And you want us to be marching and running. Nobody was doing, I didn't see very many. I saw some Caucasian people in the marches for Black Lives Matter, yes. But a lot of the rights that have been taken away from women of color or indigenous women, nobody's been fighting for them. And, you know, sometimes I just want you guys to accept, you know, women, non-women of color, that some fights are just yours. Okay, because we're gonna find a way to make sure we're good, that we're, you know, and all of that, right? And then I saw this video where this lady said, oh, they were rallying behind Trump, and they said, thank you for your win on preserving white births or white lives. And I was like, this is exactly why you don't see women of color out there marching and throwing tantrums. Because this is what it's, is this what it's about? You guys, I want you guys to comment below. Like, do you feel like this is what all of this is about? You know, because I do know that non-women of color are basically 60% of, you know, the pregnancies that were terminated. It's very seldom that a woman of color does it, but it does happen. And it's for a variety of different reasons. So are they trying to save their race? Is that what you guys feel? Comment that down below. Are they trying to save their race? Because I mean, it's kind of asinine. It doesn't make sense to me, because even if you did that, you still wouldn't be the majority. They're calling us minority when they are the minority, if that makes sense. So I don't know if it's to save, if it would be to save their race, or if it's just, you know, they want to see more non-women of color have children, or like, what is that whole thing about? Like, I really do have a question about that. I really want you guys to chime in. And if you've seen any of these videos and stuff like that, I want you guys to really give me your honest opinion. Be respectful, of course, to everybody. I try my best to. I'm not in the business of offending anyone. So if this is offending anyone, that's, you know, not my intention. But I really do want to know what it is you guys feel like this whole thing is about. Because if it's not about taking away rights that were given to every woman, because every woman has not always had all of these rights. It has not been easy for every woman of every color and nationality to have access to these kinds of care, this kind of care. Giving birth has always been dangerous for women of color. Not being listened to in a doctor's appointment, telling them things, has always been an issue for women of color. So is this really our fight? I mean, I know we're not fighting, but is this really our fight? Yes, it has something to do with all women, but again, it's not going to change what we already have been dealing with. So would it be smart to expend energy to help someone else be happy with the decisions that the people have made? I don't know. I hope that made sense to you guys. I'm just like, you know, it's just so many things going through my head at this moment when it comes to that. And I try not to really speak on it and things like that, but it's just really disheartening to see all of the back and forth, the bickering and the blatant racism that's attached to it. And, while that's not necessarily our issue, it's still something that is like, okay, y'all just getting more and more bold with y'all shit out here. Like, it's not even, normally it used to be a hide it kind of situation, And then you see some people, I'm not saying every non-person of color, every Caucasian person is like the same way. Not saying that. But I'm saying a majority of them do present those characteristics of racism. And then you have the people who feel like they need to over apologize. Like, I was at the grocery store the other day, and it was like a 15 items or less aisle, and there was a Caucasian man and woman at the register with like 96 pieces of freaking groceries. And me and Babe walk up to our little, register, the register behind them, because we had like 4 things. And the guy's like, "Oh, you can go ahead." We're like, "No, don't worry about it." He's like, "I'm sorry. It's my wife. She was shopping, blah, blah, blah." And we're like, "Okay. Put your shit up there." You know what I'm saying? You got 95 things, sir. We needed to speed it up, wrap it up, So he keeps apologizing. He keeps apologizing to the point of no return. He keeps apologizing. And then he goes, "We're breaking the rules. We're sorry. We apologize." And then he turns to me and he says, "Oh, I like your dress." I was like, "Thanks." Then he looks at my fiance and goes, "You look nice too." You don't have to do all that. We said it was okay. You don't have to over apologize. And I feel bad for the ones that might be good people that feel like they have to apologize, but try to be more understanding as to why that's the case, why you're feeling like that. You have family members somewhere that are probably racist, don't believe the same things that you believe. And sometimes being quiet about something is just as bad as, like, being quiet about racism and allowing it to go on is just as bad as being racist. And that's just what it is. I'm not going to hold. So I want to move away from that, but I'm just saying, like, do you feel like that is an attempt to cultivate their race, to like make more of them because they're kind of like growing extinct, or like like what do you guys feel? Because we are literally the minority, and we've always been called the majority, and we've always been called minority, even on a thing like, oh, minority. We're not minority, we're majority, and you're the minority. But again, that goes back to other podcasts that I've done. I want you guys to go back and watch all of them. But other ones that I've done where I basically stated, you are what you answer to. And we've been answering to minority. So it would appear that we are, but that's not the case. Do your research. But yeah, I just want everybody to, think about, maybe it's the ancestors' call for us to tap back into our, ancestry, into our indigenous, ness. You know what I mean? I think it's about that, more so than anything. Next order of business, y'all. The next order of business is going to be, because this is random, it might be off topic for y'all, but honey, it was funny as hell to me. Okay. The verses with Omarion and Mario. I had to talk about this. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm spiritual, not dead. Okay. Thank the creator. I'm still here. All right. But I watched this crap. And it's weird because now that I am more awakened, I see everything from like a spiritual, like mental processing thing. It's like, I don't know, it's like like I see it like all, well, you guys know I say everything is spiritual because it really is. It really is. But we're gonna get into it. So basically, we got Omarion, no Marion. That's what we gonna call him. We're gonna call him No Marion. And Mario going at it, you know what I'm saying, with their hits and stuff like that. And at first they tried to make it seem like it was like this big kumbaya moment, two of, R&B superstars coming together to like reminisce and give you that kind of vibe. And then, honey, it just turned into a shit show out of nowhere. Just straight up shit show. Like, what the hell was going on? I mean, please comment down below if you guys seen it, because it was crazy. Mario was singing his throat. Oh, he was singing the whole thing. Oh, right. And Omarion was doing everything but singing. Like, I mean, the man took off his clothes damn near. He was rolling on the floor. He took a watermelon and was eating the watermelon, sticking his tongue out on the watermelon, like trying to like tap into his sexual side all of a sudden. And he never really was like that. He would just dance, be in his own energy, and that's it. So it's like, it seemed like it was a really big insecurity, like there in that aspect. Like he was getting in his feelings. And it reminded me, like hearing Mario be like, yeah, you acting unbothered, but you real bothered, stuff like that. It reminded me of people in general, right? People in general, especially in religious and spiritual community. People act like they're so healed sometimes, like they're so healed, like they cannot be bothered, like they can't be touched by anything or anybody, honey. Like they are just so elevated that, you know what I'm saying? Like nothing bothers them. And that is horrible. That is a horrible message to send out there to people who are awakening or that are going through their own spiritual journey. It makes them feel alone, and part of what it is that I do when I'm talking to my clients, when I'm teaching people is helping people to relate to things that they have gone through and make them make sense of it. You know what I mean? And in that situation, it was just giving very much fake. You know what I'm saying? Like how Kirk Franklin was out here pretending like he was, holier than thou and cussed his son down to the ground, honey. Now I'm not gonna say he was a grown man. I'm gonna just tell y'all that. But you know what I'm saying? Like he cussed him down to the ground. But it's like it gotta be tiring holding up appearances for everybody all the time. Like it's really tiring and it's sad to watch because he started scrambling after a while and you could tell he was upset. You could tell he was stressed out. His sound was off. It looked like maybe the person that was the DJ didn't show up because Orion, his brother, ended up DJing. And it was like they couldn't figure out the speakers for the stage. They couldn't figure out this. They couldn't figure out that. And it was like the sound was off. Mario's sound man was on. His DJ was on. His mic was popping. Okay. I don't know if it was the publicity stunt because maybe he got some new music coming out. I don't know. Okay. But it was just really messed up. And then Omarion is like, oh, I don't need, B2K or whoever the hell. I forgot which group he was in. But he was like really not even giving credit to the people that got him where he was at. Yeah, y'all might not mess around anymore. Y'all might not be cool anymore. You know what I'm saying? All of that. But like, call a thing what it is. Like most of your career was you part of you being a group. And if that's because he was singing songs from the group, if you don't need them, why are you not singing your songs from your solo debut or your solo music? But again, this goes back to how things are in the religious and spiritual community. People fall out with each other. And instead of saying, I appreciate where I was with that person and what it taught me, or that situation, or that hurt, or that pain, or that trauma taught me, and I'm learning from it and I'm moving forward, they kind of tend to act like it didn't happen, or like they're not bothered by it, or sweep it under the rug, or do something just extremely unhealthy, and then create other people by teaching them to do this that's going to be just as bad. And it's not teaching people to like heal or grow or communicate or be authentically who you are. You can't be. This man even lit sage on the stage, honey. And let me tell y'all something. All y'all out there watching, it ain't no sage you can burn. No palo, no frankincense and myrrh. No nothing that you could burn to make you heal from a trigger that somebody done set off. yeah, that person might have some negative energy, but the negative energy that you still carry with you is the reason why you're able to get annoyed and aggravated to the point where you feel like you need. That's just like pleading the blood of Jesus on somebody. You're gonna light a thing of sage. You try to plead the spiritual blood of the lamb on Mario because Mario was singing his throat off and you couldn't get your energy together. So you felt like automatically it was not him. It was, I mean, not you, it was him. Instead of sitting back and looking at the energy that you carry, like you had one of desperation, and you're not even like that. You're not built like that, brother. But it was a thing that like me singing like the energies and the spirits on that particular stage at that time. I was like, this is so sad. Like he's going through something. And he might have been very, very tired. He could have been sick. You don't know what these people are going through. So one of the first things that I'm pulling from that on a spiritual note is you have these people or these gurus that you might look up to, or people that you might learn from, or teachers that you might learn from, and things like that. And you put them on a pedestal. And the first rule of thumb is don't. Don't put them on a pedestal. These are still human beings. We all are in a human experience, and they are allowed to be human and go through things and deal with things. Now, mind you, if you're teaching people to heal, you need to be dealing with these things in a healed manner, meaning you don't got to ghost people or, go off on people and make them feel bad about you and your situation. If they don't respect it, then you don't work with them. But at the same time, it's like, stop putting these people on a pedestal. Just like all these famous people, you find out they got problems in their family and stuff like that, and y'all ready to cancel them in 5 seconds. Like, you ain't never had no situation happen for you, or, like, it's just everything that is looking like it's surface level. It's always something deeper to that. So I'm seeing Omarion's triggers, Omarion's traumas, Omarion's hurts, and things like that start to now affect his gift that was given to him by the creator. Get it? His gift is now being affected by his traumas and holding in all of that anger and that issue and that upset and the fact that your baby mama out here hoeing. Okay. All of that is starting to now leak and spill over onto Omarion's life. So there's some shadow work that needs to be done, some counseling that needs to be done, some looking at like, am I carrying narc trait? Because that's what it was giving. Okay, it was giving that. And so there's a lot of work that needs to be done there, and everybody's laughing and making fun of it and stuff like that. But it's really sad because he was really spiritually aligned. But this is how this world is: comments and people talking junk, and you being in the news every 5 minutes about the stuff your baby mama doing with her cootie cat, and you don't even use it no more. You don't use her cootie cat no more. That stuff wears down on a human being. He's still human. I feel that he is extremely talented. I feel like that was a really jacked up day. I feel like he might not sing as well. I'm gonna give you that, Mario. You was singing your throat off, always has been a great singer. But Omarion is like an all-around performer. I really, really feel that there's something emotionally or spiritually going on with him, and that is something that needs to be addressed and not laughed at and looked over. Too many people laugh at and make fun of Black men's pain. You know what I'm saying? And then they wonder why they're so angry. Listen, I don't even listen. That's not the team I play for no more. I'm a part of the LGBTQIA element of P community, gang, gang. But I still know somebody that's hurting, or why a certain people are hurting, just by looking at the way that they behave. It's just, it's getting to him. He probably needs a moment to himself. He might be getting stressed out by labels. You never know what the situation may be. And sometimes people sabotage things because they're just tired. So I really hope that Omarion gets whatever help he needs and whatever care and consideration that he needs. It was definitely entertaining. It was definitely funny. But it sucked. Like all the people, it's like it seemed like no, he could not win. Tank sings his throat off, and for him to come out there sounding like that, and all these other people, and then oh my God, girl, okay, the people that was doing the performances beforehand. I don't know, Sammy, sir, that's like 45 years ago. I need you to get some new music if you're gonna be performing on there like you the greatest of all time, because he was hollering that shit. Oh, yeah. Here's this grown ass man singing with this little child's voice. I was done. It took me back to memories and all of that great stuff, but it was just a lot. You know what I mean? It was just the whole thing was a lot. And while I'm happy that Mario's in a good place, I don't like seeing Omarion. Mario was in a good place. I don't like seeing where Omarion seems. Or maybe it's just because I'm intuitive and I could see certain things. But honey, that was just, it was tragic. It was entertaining. It didn't make sense. It really didn't. He was rolling on the floor. He was whining and just doing and then he had his dancers out. They was on point. But it was just like, it just wasn't looking good. And I don't know, honey. That's, everything isn't spiritual, but it is. And then in that situation, I saw that hurt that man and that tiredness that man is going through. This world can weigh you the fuck down if you're not careful. And I just feel like I need to be concerned. Like we need to be concerned about where this is taking him. People love to laugh so much that they don't even think that they might be driving somebody to suicide. You know what I'm saying? Or driving somebody to like a deep, deep depression. Like y'all just do too much. But I want you guys to comment down below if you noticed it yourself or if you even seen it, or if you haven't, go back and watch it, child. It's got to be something. It's on YouTube. If Omarion don't get it pulled because of sheer embarrassment. But yeah, the next order of business, honey. See what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to tell y'all. I be seeing, it's different now. My eyeballs is different. My lenses is different now that I've been in this spiritual on the spiritual walk or for a little while. The BET Awards. I watched the BET Awards because again, I'm spiritual. I'm not dead. Okay, this is songs that I dance to, that I grew up to, that make me feel nostalgic, honey. And Puffy had a lot to do with all of these people's success and things like that. And a lot of people would beg to differ, thinking that he had a lot to do with some other stuff that wasn't so good, which could be true, but you never know the circumstances in which he was involved in that. Again, people force people to do stuff when they want to, or trick people into doing things. So with that being said, I see all of the, performances. They were so great. And, they just brought back, it was like the old school with the new school, passing down the baton. The music was lit. Everything was great. And then we got to Puffy's reunion. Well, Puffy's Lifetime Achievement Award performance. Dope. Except for the one with Little Kim, but I just feel like they messed up our music. I mean, I'm not even startled by the sheer fact of who she looks like now versus who she was back then, but it looked like she got her hip done bigger or something, or maybe her waist got smaller, but she didn't take some of that meat out the thighs, honey. She was looking like a damn a ram or an ox or something. It's too much. It's giving too much. But like that was dope. I mean, once towards the end, once they got it together, she didn't know which words she was coming in on. Like Child Martin and Gina and what's his name? Cole came out and did the presentation. I don't know why the hell they had Gina or Tisha Campbell, whatever the fuck, and this baggy ass sweatsuit and heels. Oh, that just drives me crazy. I can't stand when people wear that. Like, at least if it's like form fitting, it's like, okay, you tried a little bit, but like, girl, you have to be in a bucket hat. And Cole, everybody just looked like, oh, it made me feel old. That's what it did. It made me feel old, spiritually speaking. But it was still dope. Like, I was like, oh, snap. So fast forward to towards the end of the performance. Diddy comes on and performs Missing You. And he puts pictures of his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend up, and he's like, no, we miss you so much, we love you so much, and he starts dancing around. When Faith comes out, she's singing, right? So then he, I guess, looks at the screen, and he's coming up, and he just starts screaming, oh, I miss you so much, girl. Oh, I miss you so much. Like, he was like screaming from the pits of his soul, like to the point where I'm like in tears, listening to this man's pain. Like, and then he's like, oh, babe, we miss you. Oh, you know, like he was just really having a breakdown on stage. And everybody's like, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, yo, like this shit is crazy. Like, y'all don't like, nobody gives a damn about a black man breaking and cracking up. It seemed like nobody cared. And then when they savages, everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe he's like this to me. Why he keep cheating on me? He's looking for something that nobody's giving him. That's why. Not to say anybody deserves that shit, but that's what it seems like. So he's yelling, and you know, you could tell he's crying. And then it's done, and he's like back like this, you know, and he's talking on the mic, and he starts crying again. And he's saying how much he misses her. But he's talking about a lot of different things, you know, thanking as many people as he can. But all of a sudden, he just said, I'm hurting so bad, y'all. I'm hurting so bad, y'all. I miss her so much, and it's grieving. But if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't even be here right now. I would have ended my life. You know, and it was just so sad. Like, oh my gosh. Like, it was so sad. And he just, it's like he zoned out for a minute, and he, you know, gathered himself, and then he came back. And then it was like, he was like, God laid it on my heart to tell you that it's time that people of color, Black people, we come together, we get our own stuff. Like, he was really spitting that stuff. But again, people be looking so much for entertainment that when somebody's telling you something that really is going to benefit us as a whole, he's like, and he was like, I feel like we should have our own banks and this, that, and the third. And then he's like, I'm donating $1 million, you know, to I forget what it was, to Howard, because he went to Howard University. And I'm donating another $1 million to Jackson State University and Deion Sanders, because we need to take care of our own, and you know, this, that, and the third. And he's just like, you know, speaking all of these things. And then you could tell that it's spirit led, because he's just in such a dark space right now, but it's just like he's still hearing from the creator. It was so spiritual without even like, it was such a, it had so many highs and lows to it, you know what I mean? But I feel concerned about the emotional states of our men, because I feel like they still don't feel safe with being that way, with being vulnerable. They still don't feel like anybody cares about what it is that they are going through. They still fight, you know, with themselves about these things. So I just really want to put up prayers and love to Black men. We love you. I don't hate Black men. I just don't date them. You know what I'm saying? But I love my daddy. I'm a daddy's girl. I love my father-in-law. I love all the men in my life, my nephews and things like that. And I just don't want to see all of them continue to spiral downhill. Now, I will say this, the divine feminine is waking up. The divine feminine, the other halves of their souls are waking up. And typically in that kind of dynamic, the men follow, but it's like they have to go through the things that we went through, the heartache, the pain, the shadow work, the therapy, the breakdowns, and all of that stuff in order to kind of catch up where we are. But still, we need to try to hold space for them as they do that, because it's really hard out here for them. But yeah, I feel like, comment down below if you did see it. Like, I know that you guys saw that. It was like really just like reaching down into the pit of your stomach and just pulling your heart out, just to hear the pain and the sadness and the depression out of both of these. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy out here, y'all. I need y'all to stay prayed up. Keep your vibrations up. Stay positive. Protect your energy. Protect your space. Call your power back to you every single night. Okay. Manifest whatever it is. Reprogram your mind because it's been such an attack on our mind as people of color that we have to do a real like we gotta like wipe the hard drive clean and like reprogram. Research everything. Don't believe anything at face value. Don't go following anybody or anything, any practice, any spiritual religious practices blindly, because that will get you really caught up out here in these streets. Like just be in a space of growth and wanting continual growth. You know what I mean? Don't just get stuck in what it is that's going on surface wide. Even things that are here as a distraction, all of these things are distractions. And I'm just going to tell you that all of these things are distractions because if you notice, while all of the news is going on, all of the people making statuses, it's almost always some bullshit, some other law that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Being passed right after that. So it's like, it's a distraction, but try to find the spiritualness or the meaning of it and all of it and move on from it quickly so you don't miss anything, if that makes sense. But it's all a distraction and we all got to know that, you know. But I hope you guys have a great day. I hope that this podcast made some kind of sense to y'all, child, because it's just, these are things that just popped up in my head because I did not know what I would talk about today with you guys. But this is just something I'm thinking. I want you guys to really comment down below, like chime in, let me know how you're feeling about all of that. You know, it's a sad time for everybody, but it also is a beautiful time. We get to reprogram ourselves and revamp ourselves, and just go back and get our ancestors. It's the ultimate form of veneration is to go back and tap back into those parts of ourselves that we were stolen from, that we were snatched from. You know, I had the pleasure of giving my ancestors a homecoming by taking my African ancestry test and getting my results. That's the way that I feel like my spirit have a home just by me acknowledging that that's where we originated from or where we were before we were stolen. You know, it doesn't even have to be where we're originated from because of course, as time goes on, you migrate, you know, a couple of the tribes that I'm a part of migrated from Egypt, you know, and then became the Mali Empire. And then, you know, so those things, it's not the first place, but it's definitely 2,000 years prior to slavery. And that's where we came from. So I would encourage anybody to do that research as well. It is really a calming feeling. I feel more confident in my magic, in myself, and in my spirit. My spirits are calm. My ancestors are way more calm. They don't feel like they need to keep showing me how powerful I am because they know that I now know. That's all I got for you guys. I will see you guys next week. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment and share, honey. Comment, comment, comment. I love to hear from you guys. And I'm not bougie, honey. I respond. Okay. Y'all have a good one. Okay.